Dynamite kicks off with a tag match. It's Hook and Orange Cassidy against Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta, who enter through the crowd. Hook and Cassidy meet them there as the brawl kicks off in the crowd. Orange and Mox brawl up in the stands while Yuta brings Hook back to ringside. The match officially starts with Yuta and Hook in the ring. Mox leaves Orange in the crowd and makes his way back to ringside. We get a fun stare down between Mox and Hook. That's a match I'd love to see on a pay-per-view. Orange dives onto Yuta to get back into the match and throws Mox into the barricade before feeding him to Hook for a suplex. Orange tags into the match and hits a diving DDT to fully turn the tide. Orange hits an orange punch, but Mox no-sells it. I don't really know who that benefits. Mox kicks Cassidy's effing head in but gets caught in Hook's red rum. Yuta helps Mox escape by hitting Hook as Mox hits the Death Rider and Yuta gets the seatbelt pin for the win. Mox intensely stares down Cassidy after the match and takes to the mic to say subscribe to the Wrestle Vessel channel, like the video and leave comments on what you thought about the show. He didn't actually say that, but I'm sure he was thinking it, and you should do it anyway. He actually says Cassidy is nothing, he'll always be nothing, and Mox will grind him to dust at Full Gear and win the International Championship. The Golden Jets, Kota Ibushi and Paul Wight arrive to the arena in suits ahead of their street fight tonight with the Callis family. Jericho runs his hand along the roof of the car. He was just checking in case he left another championship on top of a vehicle. Tony Schiavone is in the ring. He announces that Hangman Page vs Swerve Strickland will be a Texas death match. He welcomes Swerve out to the ring. He's followed by a dancing Prince Nana as always. God, I love that man. Tony then welcomes Hangman out, who looks madder than hell as the graphic says, and gets in Strickland's face. If there's any physicality between the two men, then they'll both be suspended until 2024 and the match will be cancelled. Hangman takes the mic and goes off. He says Swerve is a dumbass for breaking into his house and he's dumber today than he was when he got fired 2 years ago. Hangman says Swerve is half the man he is and that's why Swerve's fiancée left him and his kids won't talk to him. His words, not mine. Hangman accuses Nana of leeching off Strickland to sell t-shirts and accuses Nana of buying weed from high school kids. Hangman says he will kick Strickland's ass, then kick Nana's ass and steal his weed, and this line had me burst out laughing. In what was supposed to be a serious segment, Hangman threw in a bit of his own dry humour, which I appreciate. Hangman says Swerve made a big mistake by coming into his house, but they don't need lawyers to solve their issue. Page uses my personal favourite cliche wrestling promo line by saying he will be Swerve's judge, jury and executioner and will condemn him to a life at the bottom of hell. Hangman reminds us all of the stipulation that he can't attack Swerve, but that stipulation doesn't apply to Nana as Hangman drops the dancing sensation. Hangman pounds on Nana before security jump in and pull him off, not like that, and Hangman batters the security. Page hits a shoot buckshot to one security guard and stands tall to end the segment. Leaping Lexi Nair is backstage with Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. They FaceTime Adam Cole and tell him that MJF is the man behind the devil mask. Adam denies it, saying that's ridiculous, and hangs up. This has been built amazingly. Every AEW fan waits with bated breath wondering who the devil could be. Let me know your theories in the comments. Samoa Joe is here for a squash match. We know that MJF will defend the Ring of Honor tag titles against the Guns at Full Gear, but could Joe be called in as his partner? Although of course Max would need to give Joe a World Championship shot. Joe wins the squash match with the Coquina clutch and takes to the mic. He once again extends his offer of friendship to MJF and leaves. Up next, Penta El Zero Miedo teams with Kommander to take on the Young Bucks. I was disgusted watching the Bucks entrance when I saw that nameplate graphic. The alleged best tag team in the world has had 7 tag team matches this year in a company they run. We're in November, lads. You're just part-timers at that point. The Bucks will of course take on Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega at Full Gear with their #1 contender status on the line. Matt Jackson distracts the referee, not hard to do when it's Rick Knox, as Kommander goes for a springboard but gets low-blowed by Nick. Nick then hits the greatest low blow I've ever seen to Penta. Seriously, go back, watch it and listen. The sound is insane. The Bucks hit the BTE trigger on Kommander to pick up the win. Backstage, the Bucks are interviewed by Leaping Lexi Nair as she asks them why they cheated in their hometown. The Bucks say it's the best version of themselves and get interrupted by Kenny Omega, who asks if they're proud of themselves. The Bucks point out Kenny got all of his success by cheating, a fair point by the way, before saying their issue is not with Kenny, it's with Jericho. Jericho shows up, calls the Bucks jackasses, and gets blindsided by Matt with a shoot axe handle. Obviously, whenever I've got into a fight in my life, my go-to weapon is an axe handle. They all get split up by security as we get on with the show. The Guns are here with everyone's favourite collision cowboy, Juice Robinson. They quickly win a squash match with the 310 to Yuma. Juice then pretends he is a dog taking a whiz on the opponent. That's top gear from Juice. Strap in, folks. The Callis family are here for the Like a Dragon Gaiden street fight. Brian Cage is now involved for some reason. I hate this. I'm sure the match will be good, but AEW's faction warfare is far too complicated. They're up against a real Harlem Globetrotters assortment of wrestlers in Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Paul Wight and Kota Ibushi. The brawl kicks off in the ramp and we are underway. Wight chokeslams Fletcher off the ramp and through a table. Tough bump for Fletcher, hope he's alright. Ibushi rides around on a bike knocking folk over until he he gets decapitated and clotheslined off the bike. Hobbs slams Wight onto a car from some pallets as Wight slides off. That looked so brutal. This match is crazy. Takeshita goes for a dive off the top of a smeg. It's a fridge, look it up, but gets missed by a fire extinguisher, and Jericho follows up with the Judas effect. Brian Cage suplexes Kenny from the ring through 2 tables. What a sick move. Fletcher tombstones Ibushi onto some chairs and a sign. I think Kota might genuinely be dead now. R.I.P. Big Yin. In the ring, Kenny V triggers Hobbs as Jericho hits another Judas effect. The duo tie Hobbs to the ropes using tape. After all that madness, Kenny hits Cage with a one-winged angel and pins him to win as Hobbs watches on. I need a cigarette after that. Jesus Christ above. That was wild. I was not expecting all that to happen. For your main event segment, we hear from the AEW World Champion MJF. MJF apologises to the Acclaimed after they were brutally beat down last week and says he feels like he's cursed because the people close to him keep getting hurt. He's worked hard to be a world champion and is scared he will lose that, but he promises to keep fighting. MJF then calls out the devil, saying he will find out who stole his mask, but gets interrupted by Jay White. He accuses MJF of being behind the mask. The rest of Bullet Club Gold attack Max, but he holds them off at first until Juice Robinson lays him out with the left hand. The Guns hit the 310 to Yuma and Jay White hits the Blade Runner as he pins MJF again and stands over him with the title. Juice Robinson pulling double duty tonight. He's a dog and a referee. Samoa Joe watches on backstage as MJF must be thinking, damn, I should have took Joe up in his offer.